u sektoru podzemnog usterenog bušenja. Usluge se kreću od gasne drenaže, upravljanja projektima, konstrukcije bušotina pa do istražnog bušenja i mehaničke podrške. GTS je zatim doneo ekspertizu u konstrukciji i izradi bušotina na licu mesta. Inženjeri GTS-a slušaju tržište i naše radnike na bušenju kako bi usavršili postojeće i stvorili najinovativnije platforme u industriji. Naš spektar platformi nastavlja da evoluira sa potrebama tržišta. Mi počinjemo sa detaljnom evaluacijom specifičnih zahteva svakog klijenta na licu mesta, a zatim realizujemo ovu procenu kroz našu inovativnu ekspertizu u dizajnu. GTS grupa kompanija ima mogućnost proizvodnje opreme prilagođene za svaku fazu, od šipki, motora i tleta do sistema za praćenje i navođenje u toku bušenja. Jedno proizvedeni gotovi sistemi se izvoze, isporučuju i instaliraju bilo gde u svetu, omogućavajući glatku i nesmetanu integraciju vaših postojećih operacija i obezbeđuju kompletan spektar treninga od strane kvalifikovanog i iskusnog osoblja. GTS je posvećen obezbeđivanju bezbednih, preciznih i efikasnih rešenja za bušenje u podzemnoj rudarskoj industriji uglja. Naše globalno proširenje već je rezultiralo zajedničkim poduhvatom sa rudarskom grupom Yincheng u Kini i snabdevanjem opremom specijalno izrađenom za bušenje i usluge ruskog naftnog giganta Lukoila.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. Just a little bit about ourselves. We're a directional drilling company based in Australia. We're mainly used in the coal sector for in-seam directional drilling. So I'll just go through a few slides and give you a bit of a basic overview of who we are and what we do. The company was founded in 2010 and we decided that we want to provide more of a smaller, more so personal hands-on approach. The company itself isn't publicly listed, it's privately owned. So yeah, it was come out of a need for our clients in Australia. We're made up of a few groups, so we've got the global drilling systems. So the GDS, they're the arm that looks over everything overseas, they're the overarching one, and then everything that comes into Europe and China and Asia, all that kind of stuff. Australian drilling systems, so we're the department that looks after all the Australian drillings, the operations. We have currently in New South Wales and Queensland in Australia. We also hire out directional drill rigs and we cover things for degasification, dewatering, exploration. ADSE, which is Australian Drilling Systems Engineering, so all our drill rigs are actually manufactured and designed by us. So we also have the opportunity to service and maintain and overhaul all drill rigs, not only our own drill rigs, we actually do other people's drill rigs in Australia. We've got multiple systems throughout Australia, Asia and Europe. We have MA approval and ATEX approvals for the regions. We also have a joint venture with JAMG in China, and to date we've had 16 systems put into China, and we do contract drilling operations in China. Just a few pics there. The ones on the left are the China facilities, the ones on the right are our base there in Currie in New South Wales, Australia. Yeah, just a little bit about it. You know, with every underground environment, there's always challenges. The underground, we do strata control, in-seam gas content, structures, igneous intrusions, water, and some of the advantages of directional drilling for the operations is that if you do know that these structures, water-filled voids, things like that are coming up, you can actually plan for it and save loss of production time. Obviously, drilling has been around for a long time. Predominantly, it started out as rotary drilling. We do know in the European market there still is a lot of rotary drilling. So some of the advantages of rotary drilling and directional drilling. So with your rotary drilling, normally around 200 metres. Our drill rigs can drill out to 1,200 metres. There's no directional, there's no control. with the rotary, it's pretty much you're pointed in a direction and hope for your best. With the actual directional drilling, we steer it. We can tell exactly where it's going. We do surveys every 6 metres, so we know exactly in the coal seam where we are. And then obviously less wear and tear on the drill rigs because there's not the constant rotation of parts and things like that. It's slide drilling. There's just an example there for gas drainage of holes that we've drilled in Australia. So in that process there, we've got roof hits as well as gas drainage. So the benefits are you're getting the gas removed from the seam, but you're also actually finding out profiling of the seam with the roof hits. This is an overview of a mine in New South Wales. It's currently our biggest project that we have. We have 3 drill rigs permanently on site there, operating 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We average around 25,000 metres per month there, and it's a combination of gas drainage and exploration work. As mentioned before, effective gas drainage can also assist with development and also extraction rates, so less downtime, meaning increased production, better productivity. Also too, it decreases and removes the potential for any explosions. Obviously in Australia we have had gas explosions and outbursts, and unfortunately we have had miners die. By preventing the gas outbursts and removing the gas to a certain level, hopefully prevents things happening like this in the future. Another one is geological exploration. So not only is it, as I said, gas drainage, there also is the advantages of being able to use it for exploration work. As we can steer it and as we do survey, we know exactly where we're at, where we're up to. We can provide the mine with the information of areas that they want to mine further down the track and give them a good understanding of what they actually have in their mine as far as geological conditions and seam profiles. There's just as an example of a hole. It was the Bulleye seam. Down the bottom there in the main picture, that was where the Bulleye seam was, and there was actually a fault, approximately 30 metres the fault was, and we were able to identify that fault for that particular mine. So instead of them going along with their miner and then hitting stone face in front of them, they could actually predict where they were going and change mining conditions to suit. Just got a series of pictures now of some of our drill rigs that we have. What we've taken on board is that not every mine is exactly the same. Not every client's needs are exactly the same. So we do have a series. We have our standard models that we manufacture and use, but we also have a series of models that we've actually developed. BHP in the Wollongong area in New South Wales were chasing certain things, so we made sure that we complied with what they were chasing. So it's just definitely not, this is our drill rig, you buy it. We work with our customers and we try and provide the exact piece of equipment that they're chasing. All our gear is intrinsically safe in Australia with our standards and mine department guidelines, things like that, where all has to be. So all our methane systems, our electronic enclosures, everything like that's intrinsically safe. As mentioned before, we have ATEX approval for Turkey, Poland and Russia. Yeah, hopefully in the future we'd love to have something in Serbia as well. Very short, very brief, but just wanted to give you a bit of exposure to directional drilling, the Australian drilling systems. Before I do finish, there's a few people I'd just like to thank: the Minister of the Minerals here in Serbia, the Australian Embassy here, Austrade, the British and Canadian embassies that actually hosted us for the last couple of nights, and Serbia in general. It's my first time here, and so far I've really enjoyed it, and come the weekend I'm sure I'll get to see a little bit more of it. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Adam. Is there any question from audience? Nothing? Zero? Okay. From my side, a few questions. Mr. Adam, for you. You're speaking all the times about drilling the coal. So what kind of drilling we can perform beside the coal deposits?
Is this on? Yep. Yes, predominantly we are coal. In Australia, that is what we do, but we do have the application to be able to use it in hard rock mining, different sorts of mineral minings. Our drill rigs are adaptable to those situations. We would then change our drill bits, coring tips, things like that to accommodate what kind of conditions we come in. Part of the process is, with new clients and new processes, is that we do a site evaluation. So if there was a company that was involved, like a mining company, we would go to the mine, we would do site evaluations of what they are and things like that, and make sure we have the correct equipment for that process.
Oh, great. So how far can you drill? In coal and then in this other?
In coal, so obviously every mine is different. Conditions are different throughout all the mines. To date, our record in Australia is 1,348 metres. I don't like to sit up here and say, oh, we could drill 1,500 metres, we could drill this and that. I'm quietly confident that 1,000 to 1,200 metres is achievable on a regular basis. The issue that you have too is that the further you go out, if you do become bogged or stuck, the chances of recovery equipment becomes more difficult. So there will be drilling companies that will sit up on a stage and say, we can drill 2,000 metres and 1,500 metres. That's fine and everything goes great, but if something goes wrong in those conditions, the chances of recovering that survey tool and drilling drill rod string is pretty much next to nothing. So yeah, let's sit at 1,000 to 1,200 metres.
Okay, super. So I assume that all these are advantages of directional drilling instead of regular drilling from the surface.
Yeah, look, the major thing is, and unfortunately, it normally takes an accident or an incident, for things to change. In Australia, as I mentioned before, we've had accidents where we've had miners die in outbursts, in rushes of water, hit old mine work areas that were full of water. The water came in and actually we lost miners and things like that. So the major advantage that I see is that, reduce the gas levels in your coal mines, predict potential risks that can hurt the workforce. Another advantage from a production point of view, as I said, the more information you can have about what you've got going forward, the more planning you can have, the more chance you can of overcoming any obstacles and potential loss of production. So safety is a major factor, but then also increased production. And it's not just limited to gas drainage. There's gas drainage, there's barrier proving, there's exploration work. It's pretty much just comes down to what we want. We've drilled a hole in Australia across a longwall block. We've lined it with poly because they were having water problems in one area of the mine, and then we actually used it to pump water from one area of the mine to the other so they could help out with their production.
Thanks. And now a question for Mr. Matic from Drager. So we are all very good known to the different kind of equipment which Drager sells so far here in Serbia and around the world, but you spoke about vehicle, which is very interesting right now. This is a new product here. Is that vehicle available for Serbia as well?
Yes. And what about that vehicle is interesting because that vehicle we can make by your wish. So if you have some special wishes, like maybe you don't need 5 cylinders, maybe you need 3 cylinders, maybe you don't need gas detectors or something else, we can make by your own. Yeah.
So are the dimensions of the vehicle standard? Can they be?
They can be
fitted?
changed. They can be changed.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Great. Super. Thanks. And Mr. Marcin, speaking about mineral processing, what is the key to make this operation successful? Is it to have Metso Minerals equipment from the beginning with each machine? Or
Simplify. We can answer like this. Yeah, but In general, if we start from the engineering stage, in my opinion, the most important is to have a very good understanding of the ore, which to be processed. And on the other side, good understanding of the customer requirements, customer needs. Let's say comminution circuit can be designed in the different ways. So I presented HPGR technology, which is very good for dry material. So then SAG mill would be much better if we have a clay inside. So we need to have a good understanding what is details are requested by customer and also by ore. If we have an existing operation, there is always a lot of opportunities to improve. So from time to time we receive inquiries like, okay, we have a problem on flotation, we would like to improve flotation, but after test work analyzing, we find out that the problem is at the preparation of the ore before it goes to flotation. So all in all, there's two things: good understanding of ore and good understanding of the customer needs, and also good cooperation and communication between. That's the success between equipment or technology supplier and the customer operation, mineral processing operation.
Okay, thanks. So last chance for questions from audience before pause, next presentation. No? Thank you very much for this panel and for your presentations. And I assume that we will continue with the presentation, or Jagoda? Where is Jagoda? So, yeah, we have 18 minutes till start of next presentation. So.
Or maybe I can start. We have more time to
Let's, yeah. So, Mr. Simic, Professor Simic, can you please join us on the stage and give us your presentation so we can start early with pause.
Hvala lepo. Uvažene dame i gospodo, bar neko je imao da me najavi da ne moram sam sebe da najavljujem. Rečeno mi je da bi bilo dobro da pričam na srpskom, možda ću ubaciti koju rečenicu i na engleskom ako mi se učini da je to jednostavnije. Može prva prezentacija. Imaću dve prezentacije u stvari. Jedna je vrlo kratka i odnosi se na prezentaciju projekta Infakt koji smo mi ispred Srpskog geološkog društva u obavezi da predstavljamo odgovarajućoj publici kad god je to moguće. S obzirom da je ovo stručno najjača konferencija na Balkanu, u stvari, da budem siguran, u bivšoj Jugoslaviji, mislim da je i pravo mesto da se prikaže. Prikazao sam neke delimične rezultate koji su postojali još prošle godine, a sad samo mala razlika u odnosu na ono što je već urađeno.